from classical to the faster time controls, which hopefully I will be able to do.
How important is it to show a good score on the first day of the event?
Yeah, it's always nice to start a tournament because it's not only puts you up on the scoreboard, but also for your mental confidence or like your mental well-being. It's good to start with, because then you get into the rhythm. You just start playing with the flow. So yeah, it's quite important.
What do you think about the field this year, and whom are you looking forward to play against?
Yeah, as usual, all the top players, or most of them, are here in Grantchester, and yeah, I guess playing against Magnus, especially in any format, is always special. So that's one game that I will be looking forward to.
Garry Kasparov joked in Twitter that it's better to bring extra heavy tables to Zagreb this time. And of course, everybody was following Norway chess drama. And I was just wondering, how was it in India? How much attention chess got after what happened there in Norway chess? And did you feel any difference when you came back to India?
Yeah, for sure. Chess is getting a lot more popularity in India and hopefully throughout the world. But especially in India, there's been a lot of developments, a lot of kids taking up the sport, a lot of attention revolving around chess. Especially after Norway, it wasn't much different when I went back to India. It was pretty much the same. But yeah, I did see the kind of memes and everything going around that game, which yeah, for spectators, it's also nice to see such emotions showed on the chessboard, because it's usually chess players are usually I don't show so much, so I think that's also kind of why recently the attention has been growing, because chess players are, I think, getting a bit more expressive and open, and emotions are overflowing.
Why do you think it happens? Why chess players became more expressive?
I don't know, but I think it's also because the popularity of streamers like Hikaru, Gotham Chess maybe, and all these people who are in general expressive when they play online. People see that and they get influenced, I guess.
What specific goals have you set for yourself this year, like long-term goals or short-term goals?
Overall, I think, yeah, it was the same, just keep giving 100% in every game that I play, and yeah, try to win any tournament that I'm playing. So yeah, it's the same, just giving my best.
What are you currently working on your chess? Any particular areas you are trying to strengthen?
Yeah, certainly last year's Rapid and Blitz was not great. I didn't play much, but whatever I played was not great. So this year, I guess, in the Rapid and Blitz tournaments to improve my score, and also to classical, to keep going higher. And yeah, in general, I believe in pure chess terms, there's still a lot that I can improve. So yeah, to keep working on it.
You decided to withdraw this year from the freestyle Las Vegas event, which will be coming after this one. Was it kind of a strategic choice?
In general, it was kind of mentally hard for me to take freestyle as seriously as classical or this year Rapid and Blitz. In general, the calendar is pretty full, and I thought to just give myself a bit more time to focus on other areas. And freestyle is something, it's great for chess. It's very good that it coexists along classical and Rapid and Blitz. But for me, I just feel like right now it's not the time for me to focus on it.
Your colleague Pragnananda had a very good run recently. He won this tournament in Uzbekistan. Are you following his results, and is it some kind of a motivation for you also to improve your results? How important is this to be the number one in India?
Yeah, for sure. Prag has been doing really well this year. I think from the start he has been playing pretty much in every tournament he's been playing well. And it's only normal that it happens, because the last year he had a very bad year, and in general, after a bad year comes a good year. I have this belief. So also he might have been more inspired to see how me and Arjun performed in 2024. So it's a constant cycle. If one player does something, achieves something, it inspires the other players, and Prag performing like this surely motivates me to work harder.
Gukesh, I was wondering, What is something special you learned after all these years competing in the chess world?
Yeah, I've learned that when my back is against the wall, I do everything I can. Even I've noticed even in not only in chess, but like even if I'm playing some other sport, if I'm like down by a match point or something in tennis. I mean, I don't play too well, but like I still manage to give my 100% when my back is against the wall. So, yeah, maybe that is one.
Gukesh, thank you so much for your time and all the best of luck for you in the tournament.
Thanks.
It's been a few years since I've been a regular participant, but yeah, I enjoy playing some events, and especially here.
Yeah, it feels great. Yeah, this is my second time as a full tour participant and third time as like I had a wild card in 23. So yeah, all the tournaments are of high quality and yeah, very well established. So I'm happy to be a part of that.
For inspiring another generation.
Yes, it's a wonderful thing.
Do I see an early Magnus Carlsen?
Not early. He's still the last one, but
No.
he's on time for the game.
That's nice. He's got his water bottle. What is he drinking? Yana?
Water. Magnus is not in a great mood,
No.
but we know he wants to win,
Yes.
especially against Gukesh.
Yeah. Big missed opportunity there, Miro, in the previous game. He played the move h4. We were looking at f4. He would have had all of the advantages and kept the pawn.
Absolutely.
With the
And
move f4.
if you think of it, he still got it in terms of like getting very good positions out of nowhere.
I don't know.
But then the finishing touch is what's missing for Magnus, and that's worrisome.
There's a handshake. We start c4. He's changing his repertoire in this tournament. He started with knight f3 every white game.
Exactly.
Now we have the English.
English. And bishop b4, which has made a comeback. At one time, bishop b4 was just kind of like a variant that people were aware of and played it on occasion. Now it's really become
This is a super
popular.
rare position already. We're only 5 moves in, and are there even any games in the database? But they're blitzing. They know this. It's prep for them.
It seems so. Miro, jump in. Is this the latest and greatest of English theory?
Of course, it's English theory all the way up to move 6 or 7. Move 6, checking the database, 3 games. 3 games, none of them featured knight c5, which was played. Now, it's extremely rare. And to be honest, I'm so surprised they played so fast.
Right.
So surprised played so fast because, like, even if you look at it, disregarding like what computer has to say, what's in the database, this seems to be like, pardon me, but somewhat of a beginner's opening. Like, why do you take the knight? I would tell my student, your bishop's not attacked, right? And
Why
he
do
would
you
say
part?
to double his pawns, right? And then, yeah. Anyway, they know for sure what they're doing. I imagine, there we are. I imagine White's plan is pretty usual.
Knight
We
is
route
it.
the knight eventually to e3. It's
Drop it.
either knight goes to d5 or you provoke c6 and then d6 pawn is weak.
Right.
And thanks to a pair of bishops, you control black, prevent black from like opening the center too early.
Yeah, if you don't mind me saying, I like the move knight d2 right away, by the way, because if there's any kind of counter, it's going to be based on maybe knight h5 to f4. And the nice part about knight d2 is it just stops you from even thinking about knight h5.
knight d2. That's what
But
he's
what about
done.
knight e6? Can black also kind of mimic white and do a similar thing?
Knight e6, yeah.
Okay,
I want to
you
get an
provoked me to
element
play g3. Okay.
Yes.
But
F3 is what computer does.
F3.
Not being afraid of knight f4 because queen f1 and then g3 later and so on.
Okay.
But I imagine like it's a long maneuvering, long fight which Magnus really adores.
yes.
This is where he outplays his opponents usually, so he doesn't mind the game going this way.
You were talking about positions where players have pawn breaks. Here, the pawn breaks for Magnus are
Well, I guess knight d5 will change
will
the
be the
structure.
break.
I mean, that's your pawn break.
That's your phone break.
Or somehow, like maybe you get the knight on e3, f3, g4. That's one of the possibilities. Just try
press.
to push these guys.
Yeah, and from Black's point of view, you're not playing d5.
I'm surprised that, again, not that like it happened, but how quickly we skipped this moment where Black could have potentially played for f5.
Right.
Play f5 at once or prepare for f5, but kind of consider this idea.
Right.
And we just like very quickly bypass this moment by developing a knight on f6. Okay, knight d2 and g6 played.
G6.
G6, computer doesn't like g6, let me tell you.
Why do we start? Oh, he wants to play knight h5, I'm guessing.
Ah, right, he prepares for knight h5. So I imagine knight f1 and
As
knight
played.
h5 strangely is not on the agenda. Because
Simply
g3.
G3.
Yeah.
Because g3 and you're getting stuck and now f5 is not possible because your knight on h5 will be hanging.
Oops.
So f5 is never a good idea. And one of the things that I'm thinking now, like Ken White, and it looks a little bit ugly, but bishop d2 castle long,
Yes.
and then you're looking at potential f2, f4.
Yeah. And by the way, you've heard me say this. If you're Black and you've played the move g7, g6, I want
has
to
the
ask
dark
who
square
has the dark
bishop?
squared bishop. By the way, like a horrifying move here for Black would be castle short. Bishop g5 would really
Allowing-
rock. Would
Or
rock.
bishop h6, right?
Yeah,
Right
would
away.
rock your boat. Like, why did you play g6? Suddenly you're in this nasty pin, or as you just said, bishop h6, and you don't want to be in this
For
pin.
Black, if you look at this position, it's King's Indian defense without the bishop on g7. Everything
Yeah.
else is the same.
Right? I mean,
But you're
Magnus.
missing the key piece.
Yeah, Magnus has played h5 and bishop h6 in the previous game, and there's a dark square bishop on c1. I don't like what has happened here for Gukesh. Times of the players.
Magnus still has more time than he started with.
Wow.
And Gukesh has only spent 2 minutes.
All right, we're going to leave the SmackDown game alone for a moment. Where would you like to take us?
Actually,
Messi?
let's go to Ivan against Ali Reza, because I see that White is already better in that game.
Around in the year, somewhere around here. in
Yeah,
Croatia.
so that it's a good atmosphere. It's really good atmosphere. So that's what I had in mind when we started the Grand Chess Tour. So just to have a professional network. So somehow just resembles World Cup back in the 88, 89. That, again, unfortunately, just Sharish is 3 months older than Magnus, same year. But it's a fact is that it's Magnus is now. This is it's and of course now it's a big one because it's not just a game between Magnus and Gukesh, so which has many interesting psychological components, yes, as we know. But it's also the game that might decide the if not the whole tournament, but probably the winner of the Rapid. I mean, after miserable start, so losing to Duda, I mean, I would say losing convincingly because Duda played a great game against Gukesh, and then Gukesh just
4 out of 4.
won 4 in the row in Rapid.
That's a lot of points.
And again, it's you just look, the players he beat. It's Ali Reza, it's Fabi. So it's Abdul Sattor.
Pragnananda as well.
And performance so far is shaky. So I would say
It's also extremely important for him psychologically because a lot of people were saying, look, Gukesh, obviously he's a very classical player. He enjoys playing classical more than rapid and blitz. But right now we're seeing a change in his style as well.
Look,
We're seeing
it's not
him
about
become better
changing
and
the
better.
style. Yes, it's I think he's getting more comfortable with
He's only 19.
Yeah, exactly. He's a player. The player that's hard to beat. So to beat Gukesh, he has many lives. So you have to beat him many times. So probably it's not surprising that it's the world champion era of the computers because there's some resemblance. So this is
You're
he
always
always
very
finds
resilient.
exactly. This is the resilience that reminds me of computers. It's probably the most resilient player. I mean that's why it's even Magnus probably. Magnus has other advantages, but as for resilience, No, he's absolutely amazing. And,
We've seen that at Candice. We've seen that at Norway Chess. He had many
okay. This is again, including the infamous game with Magnus. Yes,
Magnus,
yeah, exactly. I don't recall Magnus, just losing the game when he had +3 or +4 just at one point. Yes,
he never misses those type of positions.
Yeah, but that's why I said it's why he reminds me of the computer, is because with machine, you lose your concentration. So and you're dead. So with Gukesh, you have to win. You have to beat him, 5 times. So okay, now let's have a look now what's happening in this game.
I'm seeing a huge difference in the bar. Obviously, Magnus seems to be having a close to decisive advantage, at least much better. Why is that?
Well, here?
Yes.
No, because he plays very. This is Magnus played his favorite because he loves this structure, both for black, he plays, but he also now plays it for white. He found a way with double pawns, C pawns, but then this is D5 square, and then he maneuvers his knight, and I think it's.
Let's take a look at how this one happened.
Let's have a look. Yes.
Bishop to E6.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the you can start with just from the beginning.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah, bishop before and he just played here, knight and f3, and yes, that's it. Okay. So, and d takes e3, and typically again it should be good for white, for black. So because this is the pawn, but Magnus doesn't care. I mean, he likes it, and that's his maneuver, and I think Gukesh, it's not very convincing move. So g6. Bishop e6, so and bishop g5. It's and queen d7. I'm not sure. I mean, this. I think the position. This one is okay, but there's something this went wrong here for Gukesh, because we see he still have time, because queen d7 and what's happened then? Queen d7, f3, knight h5, bishop f2. 93, yes, and b5.
Yes.
Knight d5. I think it's this. It's tough, but
I probably missed knight d5, right?
Yeah, I think he missed knight d5, but I wouldn't go knight h5. I mean, that's the. I mean, whatever, but I wouldn't go knight h5. So
keep the knight there.
Yeah, again, it's the. I don't know what's the best. Maybe we can king
h5.
Maybe go king e7. Maybe h5. Maybe king e7. Maybe even, I don't know. Maybe before even. I don't. But you don't want maybe before. I don't know. How about before?
Yeah, that's definitely a move.
Yeah,
that's an interesting pawn. You cannot obviously.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the machine that computer doesn't like it. Yeah, yeah. But I would not. I mean, knight on f4 is that's.
But this is why the machine doesn't like it, which is not.
Yeah,
the
but
way
queen,
humans
yes,
play,
exactly.
Right?
That's then. But queen before probably it's a pawn.
It is a pawn.
It is a pawn. It is a pawn.
Queen comes back. Before.
Queen comes back before. Yes. So this is maybe that's. Yeah. Yeah. But knight h5 is a bad move. It is really bad move. So that's the. So maybe h5. H5. I just what happens after h4 f6.
F6. Yes.
Okay. F6. Maybe this.
And we play with a knight on f4. It's
exactly. Just he has to do something. I don't know. Just bishop h2 g3 somehow.
The thing is, bishop f2 doesn't work.
That doesn't work. So
because
what do you do?
G2.
No, you cannot. So what should you do? Rook h2 maybe. Rook h2, then bishop f2, then g3. So it's the.
Looks a bit awkward, but perhaps this is the way.
It's a bit awkward, but it's the position is, probably yes, white is better, but it's still. Knight h5, I think that's the game goes south for.
Bishop f2, king f8. He's trying to find a plan. Bishop to e3.
Yes, but now you see this g3. That's it. Knight. Just compare this position to one that we had five moves ago. So this is you have this knight on h5. And you have knight on f4. This is a huge difference. So white bishop is on a3. There's better position. G3. Knight is cut. So you just simply compare two positions and you understand that something went wrong.
Yes,
very wrong. So yeah.
Do you think this game means more for the players Specifically for Magnus, do you think it means
I think
more
for both. I think there's a huge pressure. It's huge pressure. And again, what is the pressure is it's even greater because it's the game might well decide who wins the rapid.
Yes.
So that's and Magnus wants to win. I mean, Zagreb is his town, so he wants to win. But considering what's happened last time, so of course, that's the beating Gukesh becomes it's for Magnus's biggest priority. It's as important as winning the tournament. So now the knight went back to
F6.
To F6.
Yes. This is what we have. Perhaps he's looking at ideas of G4. At some point, for example, if you go long castle like this, can you try to go G4?
No, come on.
Too much.
Are you serious? Okay, this is
too much. Just take on G4. Yeah.
G4, I don't know. Just take on G4 or Queen E2. I don't know. Just what's
yes. Too much. Yeah. You're opening the position for me.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. But you can. B4, C4.
Yeah.
B4, C4.
Closing things up like this. There's still some play in it. There's definitely still some play in it.
There's rook B8, maybe just but after A4 I can play Bishop B1 unless something will happen probably on the king side of B4. Yeah.
Should we?
But
give
look,
this
it's always easy now just for us to make comments. Just having a machine here.
Of
but
course.
they play and there's a huge tension. What's time wise?
15 minutes right now for Magnus, 11 for Gukesh. And this is something that you made a very good point about. Gukesh is playing fast as well. He's generally not in time trouble.
No.
Or if he is,
yes.
he generally lands there after you get there.
We'll see. So let's look at other games.
Let's look at other games as well. Let's go through all of them. We've had a draw on Gukesh.
Wow.
A lot of things have happened.
A lot of things happen, and it's not good for Magnus.
Wait a minute.
It's not good for Magnus, the way this is, Before. Oh, my God. That's something wrong, This is... That's you don't play before. You don't play before. No, that's Magnus. No, just I don't want to look at it. You don't play before.
You don't play before.
No, you don't play. Period. You don't play.
Why?
No, because look, you open the position again. The C6 is coming, as you understand it. This is so you open and your king is in the center, and black king is well protected. So you have a solid position. Black has no counterplay. So as we discussed in the long castle, and then you can start just preparing your action. It's not easy. Black has solid position, but you don't play before. I mean that's I wouldn't have considered before. Yeah, so that's I think it's psychological pressure. Yeah, of course it's tempting because if if Black doesn't do nothing, this is Bishop D3. I think he played here.
He played Bishop D3. Yes.
I think that's the Bishop D3 is another questionable move. I think, but he wants to win the pawn. I understand. So I would probably start with.
This is the position we have.
No,
right
that's
now.
not. That's fight.
Magnus also down on time. He was up 4 minutes. Now he's slightly down on time.
He played A3 now.
A3. Rook D8. Again, that resilience that you've been talking about. He comes back from the dead, it seems like.
Dead.
Gukesh, that is.
Back from the dead. Yes, yes.
Because with castle, F4 coming, H4 coming, that looked like a wrap-up.
No, it's not a wrap-up, but it's difficult for Black to... Black had to create something. Now is the Rook's one. Let's see. So again, Magnus... Maybe Magnus will prove me wrong, but
Magnus.
Yes, yeah. Maybe he'll prove me wrong, but the computer's on my side.
He's banking everything on this pawn. Yes.
Yeah, but still is the.
Can we try to go back, or is this knight good on A4?
No, but I just don't want to see Bishop C5. Yeah. B6 is an option probably. Maybe an option, yes, but...
Seems just simply taking this one, which is, by the way, not an easy move to make, but position becomes a bit crazy after rook takes A3.
Bishop. It's a crazy position, yes. Bishop C5, Queen F6, yes.
Yes.
I don't wish it here.
we're having the help of the engine. We see the bar, but they don't.
They don't. They don't. Yes, absolutely, they don't.
I don't know how to assess this one.
Queen E2 maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah.
it's crazy position. Absolutely crazy
Absolute
position.
crazy position. Yeah, absolute crazy position. And
But you had something else in mind as well.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. So this is starting with Queen of 6 is 7, yes.
Queen f6, c7. Knight takes c7 seems to be an option right now.
Rook takes c7.
And queen to d6.
d6.
And then once again,
Should be 5, yes.
it's starting to become a fun position.
Yeah.
Wow.
Take king f8.
Hide the king.
Yeah.
This is such a wild position.
It is a wild position, but it's a wild position, but you have to.
Such a wild
It's
position.
the
And
rook b7.
you cannot take because I would assume this is made.
It is made.
This has to be a
No, it is
mate.
made. No, it's made. Queen g7, g4, queen h6. Yeah, g4.
That is very nice. Let's conclude that one.
Yeah.
We do have a move. 1 second. Rook to d6.
Logical move. So this is he wants to, but I think it's.
He's trying to
No,
maybe
it's
swing
trying
his
maybe
rook. What
just
is he?
to double.
Double up.
Maybe double rooks, yes.
uh-huh.
That's the.
How should white continue? Obviously, also putting that rook on that diagonal could become dangerous. No more knight b6, that's for sure. No more knight b6 right now. It's one of those positions in which every single move is high consequence.
Very high consequence, yes.
You need to spend time on this
And you
position,
don't.
and you don't have it.
And you don't have it. You don't have it. So how about king f2?
King to f2.
I want to rook d1. Just if
That's
he goes rook
very
d8,
natural.
rook d8, just by rook on g1 is just. I want to go here.
Yes.
Maybe something wrong. Yes.
Knight takes e3. Let's see. because
Knight
it's-
b2, knight b2. Yes, yes, knight b2 now. So, but this one is just this is rook d8. Something went wrong.
Just take the pawn. It
Let's
seems
take
like
it. Yes.
the engine doesn't care. The engine simply does not care.
Knight c3, queen c2. Yes.
Yes. Knight takes b5, queen takes a4.
Yes. And king f2 is useful. Yes, we just.
Such a safe king, it feels like right now.
Yeah. But again, it's so easy. We have computer here, so you have to look for all these attacks. You need time to consider and black. Okay, what's happening with timing? Oh, now
Magnus
is
down to
behind.
his last 5 minutes 40 seconds, 6 minutes 17 for Gukesh. It's very close, very very close.
Mhm. So yes, king. You have to do something with the king. I don't feel comfortable because connecting rooks. So that's what I would do. Yes, instinctively what I would do. Yes.
We are being told Saric did make a draw in his game against Firuza, so 2 games already down, 3 more to
Saric
go.
draw.
Yes.
Saric drew. So that was roughly an equal
Yes.
endgame. Yes.
After queen takes c3, after the exchange of the queens.
Mm-hmm.
Magnus, right now, really trying to find a way forward.
Don't know. I still think king f2 is probably the best one.
King f2.
But yes, I just would move. Now I thought about also thinking about bishop f, but it's the
Bishop where?
bishop f2, but I don't like it. Yes, if you play bishop f2 here, like maybe even g4.
Yes. Maybe g4,
G4,
maybe
yes.
rook a d8.
Yes, but it's this. No, I thought somehow to go queen
It's a
c2.
big moment. Let's see what he goes for. He's just about to make a move. Bishop takes b5. He took that pawn, which is apparently a mistake, a slight mistake.
Knight c3.
Knight c3, I think he wants to go bishop c5. This is what he's going for. But how is this position, Gary? 3 pawns are the knights.
Again, it's a total disbalance. Total disbalance.
He played it. The only move right now, I think, is bishop to c5.
Yeah.
He played it.
But it's an amazing game. It's an amazing game. So
What a game.
they're very good players. Amazing. They have so little time, and they don't have access to the computer, but they manage to play some very good
decisions.
Very good,
yes, very sensible decisions in such a complex. Knight takes b5 seems to be the only move right now.
Yeah. Otherwise,
If you take on d2, the idea
no.
being
That's yes.
you lose the rook at the
No,
end.
that's the.
So we're expecting knight takes b5.
No, the knight c5, queen c3. That's also no good. Queen c3 is also no good. Yes.
Knight takes b5 is on the board.
Of course, yes, exactly. Yeah.
And now the big question: how do you assess this one? What's the next move?
King f2.
King f2. King f2.
King f2.
I'm thinking g4.
G4, rook d1. Rook d1.
Rook d1. Yeah. He's going for it. King f2 on the board.
G.
On the board.
I don't think g4 is a good move.
Probably not.
Maybe you should do knight b6, something like that.
Knight b6. Opening up the rook.
Yeah,
also
no,
looking at
exactly.
knight c4.
Yes, I want to, because knight on a4 doesn't play, so you can't afford playing without a knight. Oh, he played knight b6, yes.
He did play knight b6.
Yeah, he played. Yes, he always makes the best moves. Yes.
But it's incredible to see your feeling as well, of the best moves and the problem pieces, because you immediately understood which one is the problem piece.
Rook d1, I think now you should go.
We do have queen d3
Queen
on the
d3.
board.
Queen d3. I don't like queen d3.
And queen to e6.
I would have played rook d1 instantly.
5 minutes, 30 seconds for Gukesh, 4 minutes with an absolutely wild position. It seems balanced. What's your intuition telling you that this result is going to be? Let's make some predictions, in-game live predictions.
I don't know. I feel that Gukesh is doing well. So I think Magnus is not happy.
He's building up on
too many threats. So if I have to bet, I would bet on Gukesh.
Wow.
Now in this position.
Big moment.
King is open. Yeah, and Queen d3. I'm not sure the good moves. I think Magnus, he definitely lost his. And I can imagine what's happening in his head. So he had such a good position. I think he thinks, why the hell I played before? So that's why I opened this. Why I gave him the chances. So I could have played. This is again. But that's the nervous. He came here just to take a revenge for Norwegian, and that's not good. You don't. You play chess. You don't try to win the game. Because it's an emotional importance to you. Yeah.
So you do think that it's a big emotional moment right now for Magnus. Let's see.
It is a big emotional moment. Whatever he says, it's a big emotional moment, and it's.
He likes to say it isn't, but
No, whatever he says, it's yeah. He has to say that, but it's still a big emotional moment. Yeah. So and it's knight goes on c4. This is g4 maybe at one point. Yeah. But
how big would a victory here for Gukesh be? Not only from a standpoint of the tournament, but psychologically, back-to-back victories against Magnus.
Let's not
if he gets there,
let's not rush.
If he
Let's not put a horse before cart. But it's if he gets in, because it's not just a game he won big. It's a fight. It's a real fight. So beating Magnus if he wins. He wins. Anything can happen against if he wins. While Magnus, came to the game, just with full rage. So that's a very, very big deal. Mm-hmm. It's a very, very big deal. Just even if we forget a simple thing that is probably winning the game, he'll win the tournament, the rapid part of the tournament. So there's a very good chance that he'll end up on top of the
He's going to
tournament.
have 10 points way up in the lead. Magnus is feeling the pressure down to his last minute and 30 seconds on his clock.
I don't like it. Queen D3 is a bad move. So, but just go back, just as the. What was this? Is this? Am I correct that this is the move here? You have to make.
No, Queen D3 seems to have been fine.
Rook C5.
Rook C5 is what he played, and right now, what's your feeling telling you? How should he proceed? How should Gukesh go for? Go for it.
Knight C4, Queen D5.
E4.
Because now he closed. Now knight is not hanging. Now knight on B6 is not hanging.
This is the best move played.
Yeah, E4.
In 10 seconds.
Because knight is not. Again, that's what he does. That's why he became the champion.
So if I go Queen to D4 right now,
King H7, King G8. I don't know.
Queen D4 is on the board, and I don't have Rook to E5 because of Queen
A2,
A2.
Take A2. That's a problem.
King G8.
Yes, that's a problem.
On the board.
That's a problem. I think it's saying Magnus isn't. Okay, Rook E1, Rook. I don't know. Rook A1 maybe. I don't know. Rook A1, Queen H. Rook A1.
Down to his last minute on the clock, Magnus
Rook
right now.
A1.
Rook A1, perhaps take.
Then maybe Rook E5.
Then Rook to E5.
Queen H3, yes. Or I don't know.
Queen H3. Oh my goodness.
No, Queen H6.
Something tells me this is going to be impossible to handle with less than a minute on the clock. It's just such a tough position.
No, I think yeah. Before.
That was
It's terrible. You don't do that.
not over yet. Rook to D1. Let's see. If anybody will fight, it's going to be Magnus. He wants to go Rook to E5, I think. Rook to E5, Queen A2, and Rook D2. Is that it?
No, but Queen H3. Queen H3. Queen H3.
Yeah.
Because take Rook at F3. That's it.
It's over.
So he takes F3. He takes F3. It's.
Gukesh is feeling it right now. You can see
He
it.
takes F3 still, but somehow.
He took it.
But what's the best move? Because the computer doesn't see us winning.
Rook to C2.
Rook
seems
C2. Rook C2 is the only move.
That's such.
Rook C2, but
Such a difficult move to
can't
make.
find the move. Rook C2. Queen H3, King G1.
Queen H3,
King G1.
King to G1, yes.
And it's still, oh yes, white is even winning. Can Magnus find Rook C2?
Rook C2 is a huge move right now. Let's see if he finds it. Rook E5. Queen H3 is over.
Queen H3 is winning, yes.
Queen H3 is winning right now. Gukesh
That's,
is pulling his sleeves,
yep. It's a big moment.
ready to seize
It's
the
a big
moment.
moment. I hope Magnus will not stop loving Zagreb after this. Yes. Yeah, it's the Rook C2, but Rook C2 is impossible to find. Yes, it's the. It's but again, it's you don't play before, you don't open the position, so that's the. No,
This is the moment right now. Queen to
Yep.
H3. He's looking at it.
Okay. I made a bad joke about the Rook takes A3. Yes, okay, that's there are many moves winning now. Yeah, now Rook takes A3, Knight C4.
So what is the? How do you finish things off after Rook to E3?
Rook takes A3, or just no. This is Queen H5. Yeah, just there's so many.
Queen H5. I mean,
Queen
that's
H- yeah, this is
probably the way to do it.
Yeah, it's the. I'm thinking about. Also, yeah, that's.
Queen H5 is completely winning as well. Yes.
Yeah, this is
This seems to be it.
simply taking on D1. Yes.
Yes. Seems to be enough.
Okay. Gukesh has 4 minutes.
4 minutes against 35 seconds for
Yes, but
Magnus
this is- yeah,
right
Magnus.
now.
Yeah, but yeah, that's still before is not
Knight
Not-
C4. Okay.
C4. Still winning, yes.
Still completely winning.
Still completely winning. Actually, it's probably even better because it's just psychologically it's more unpleasant because it's now Rook take A3 this threat.
You can see the frustration on Magnus right now. He understands. Yeah, this might be it.
4 pieces in the attack, and this is no. Yeah.
10 seconds. Rook to A5.
Rook to A5, yes. It doesn't have to take Rook E8. I would have played Rook E8. Yeah,
Yes.
that's just not to.
You want the mate, Gary. Yeah,
Yeah,
You
but
want
it's
G4,
Queen
Queen H2.
whatever this is yeah, Queen H5. So this yeah, he took on A5. That's it's still
Rook to E8 once again, perhaps. That should be winning. Let's see, if you go rook to E8, queen takes D6.
Queen F5 check, mate.
F5.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And
Queen
that's
F5,
Rook E2 and mate.
that's the mate.
Rook E8.
Rook to E8.
I would still keep my knight on C4 alive. Yes, it's more aesthetically. That's more.
You wanted to keep the knight on C4.
Exactly. Nice. Yeah. Big moment. Very big moment.
I think so.
This is, yes, Magnus collapsed, and just he had everything. So he had great position.
He will have the chance, obviously, in Blitz to bounce back against Gukesh in their direct matchup, but still, such a big moment for the young Indian superstar.
Yeah, it's still. That's not. He's trying to
Calm things down.
to calm things down. So this is just collect all the pawns, and this is that's it. Yes.
Queen to F2, perhaps. Oh,
Queen F2 you can't. His rook is hanging, so we have to go queen.
Queen
Queen
D2.
D3, Queen C5 check,
yeah.
and then take the pawn with a check. So it's so it's over.
Take on C6
Okay.
with
The
the check.
table is solid. Yes.
Let's see. Let's see.
Table is solid. Yeah.
10 seconds for Magnus. He played Queen D7. The table is solid. It's a
Queen
great
D7.
point.
Yes, and Queen C5 check, maybe, or just I don't know. 93 maybe. 93.
93. Rook to D2. Only move to not get checkmated. And there could be a few ways, perhaps. Get knight to
This is
C5
trying to. Yeah, but again, this is too much time on Gukesh.
This is something that, again, he's not known for. To play so well on the clock as well, to manage his time so well. Being up 2 minutes 40 seconds against 18 seconds against Magnus, we don't see that very often.
No.
This type of pressure on the clock.
Yeah.
It's usually Magnus
I think
that puts the pressure on the clock.
Gukesh will probably play Queen C5 check, King H1. I think he'll go check and 93.
93 first.
Rook D2.
Queen C1, he's following.
Knight G4 check, yes. Yep, correct. King E2, Queen C4 then.
He's playing the best moves, Gary, right now.
Yeah, but we know
It's
that.
just
We know that
incredible.
he plays best moves. Yeah, again, this is the era of computers. King E2.
King E2, 95.
Queen C4 check.
Queen C4.
Or 95, I don't know. 95 take on C6, yeah, that's simple, yes. But Queen C4 also looks good. I think he goes Queen C4 check. That's check is nice. Oh no, 95.
He wants to eliminate that pawn on C6.
Yeah, just just two extra. Yeah, that's
Stay
it.
safe.
I-
And the thing is,
He'll resign
I
now.
can just simply take on C6 because of...
You can take with a knight.
Yes.
I think Magnus resigns now. Yeah? No, come on, you should resign, Magnus. You should probably stop, yes.
He's going to go Queen E7.
Queen C4 check.
Queen to C4 check.
I don't know. Or knight takes C6.
Knight takes C6.
Yeah, but this, any move is good.
Knight takes C6.
Yeah, knight takes C6.
Queen to E4.
Rook takes A5.
Rook takes A5 with the threat. Rook to E5.
Extra piece, but plus attack.
Who has the compensation?
Yes, nice. Magnus can't, just...
And if you go rook to C2, maybe just rook to E5. Oh no, sorry. That would be nice. Queen takes C2 and knight to D4.
Okay, fine.
Resignation. Gukesh. Wow.
So that's yeah. You don't play before.
First reaction.
Big. Look, very important day. Yes, I think it's the now we can question Magnus' domination because it's not just a second loss, but it's just it's a very convincing loss. So again, it's not miracle by just Gukesh kept benefiting from Magnus' terrible mistakes. But it's a game that was a big fight, and Magnus lost. Serious. Yeah.
Do you think Magnus feels that as well right now? Back-to-back losses against Gukesh?
It is.
Do you think he's starting to have those type of thoughts?
I don't know what kind of thoughts he has. I mean, it's not about his thoughts. It's about the harsh reality. So yeah, and it is a reality. So okay, let's have a look. This is this game.
Wesley versus Duda, last game. Actually, it's not the last game of the round. Fabiano is. In fact, maybe we should go to that one. Fabiano versus Nodirbek. This is what we have in Nodirbek.